Here I go. Alrighty, and here we are. We are about to watch the first episode, 1985's The Berenstain Bears. I'm Phil Gonzalez. This is Deep in Bear Country. I hope this works. Oh my god, I hope this works. Here we go. Stars and Stripes Forever. That's right. Stars and Stripes Forever is the strangest thing, like the strangest idea for a theme song, but it works. Because, here we go. This is a nightmare. The whole intro to the show is a nightmare. I don't understand why they thought this was the way to introduce these characters, but I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely adored it when I was a kid, and it ends on the greatest joke of all time for a kid show, which I thought was the height of wit. There's Actual Factual, there's Big Paul, Raffish Ralph, Horace J. Honeypot. This isn't right here. This is what haunts my dreams. The eyes of the bears in this introduction, but right there, the funniest joke ever in a TV show. So we're starting right off with Go Fly a Kite, which is available as a small format book, which I've covered a couple of times on this show, I think. Well, let's just see. Let's see what this, the first teleplay by Stan and Jan Berenstain. We're here. We're in Beartown. That you'll recognize the old back scratching tree from Save That Back Scratcher, and we see a rando bear using the back scratcher as the back scratching tree. I don't know who this bear is. I do know that he makes a lot of horrible noises. One thing I want to point out while watching this is that the quality of animation in this show, it might look a little primitive to an undiscerning eye, but to a child watching this, you don't see a whole lot of reused animation. You don't see a lot of looped.
Kite contest. Make your own, fly your own kite, and win fabulous prizes.
You see
That's for us.
bespoke animation, and
The contest is this afternoon. Come on.
you see brother and sister bear participating in their activities and voiced by actual children, which was a huge deal to kids watching at home.
And win fabulous prizes.
This was a show
And the big bear
led by kids, and that was not always the case. Here's Ruth Buzzy.
Do you think we will? Will what? Win valuable prizes? Absolutely. Pay the rent, me proud beauty. Pay the rent. Oh, but sir, I can't pay the rent. I can't. Will you stop that clowning, sister? We've got work to do.
This is another thing that's going to maybe be a weird thing to point out for people who didn't watch cartoons in the 80s, but Stan and Jan Berenstain actually go out of their way to develop these characters. Simply by watching brother and sister goof off, that is animation that didn't need to exist, that doesn't advance the storyline, that doesn't sell toys. However, Stan and Jan were interested in actually telling stories. Yes, there was a desire to promote their books, but we're watching an extension of the specials. We're watching them try to shape a new form of bear country, and that was again not something you saw on TV on Saturday mornings every week as a kid. Now, if you remember from the books, Papa, of course, takes over building the kite for the Cubs by insulting their attempts and making them feel about this big. He builds a huge kite. Will they point out that he has no tail? Is Mama Bear going to come out and point out that the kite has no tail? I wonder.
This is the perfect material for a kite tail.
I guess not. I do appreciate that we got to see Mama's underwear. Have we seen Mama's underpants in the past? Probably not. I don't think they've ever been introduced in the books proper. So that was your first introduction to what Mama Bear wears under her robe. There it is.
My super stretch, super strong steelhead catfish line, of course.
I want to point out that in kite flying contests in other countries, the competitors will frequently use not steel string, but razor string, because part of the contest involves attempting to cut the strings of the other kites. So you use sharp razor string, which unfortunately has the added bonus of also cutting into spectators. So people have literally died at kite competitions because of the razor string, which is, I think, illegal to use. But we're a Papa Bear in one of those countries that takes their kite flying very seriously. Probably do pretty well.
We'd have to launch this kite from up high. That's all. Now, hand that kite up here. Come on, briskly now. We haven't got all day.
I don't know the rules of the kite flying contest in Beartown.
The space shuttle weighs 4.5 million pounds, and it cruises with the greatest of ease. You just
Good point. That's
understand aerodynamics.
a very good point, Papa Q Bear.
We just want to fly a kite.
This time she's gonna take off like a bird. You'll see. It was just a matter of getting some height on it, getting her up into the breeze. I tell you, she's going to soar like a bird. Here we go.
All of the things Papa Q Bear is saying have an extra added weight, considering that just the following year, the space shuttle will detonate soon after launch, creating one of the greatest American tragedies of all time, witnessed by many children who watched this episode of the Berenstain Bears. So, if Papa knew that going into this, maybe he wouldn't be so confident as to his kite flying abilities, because NASA scientists, well, they cut more corners, I think, than Papa Q Bear did. So, there was problems with the O-ring. Watch a documentary. It was terrible and tragic, and we all saw it happen live. So,
I've got the answer. Mama, bring round the family car. We're gonna go fly a kite and win us a fabulous prize.
Oh, dear.
Please, Mama. It's the kite contest. And it's this afternoon, Mama. Please.
I think that when I do my Papa Bear impression, I think I'm pretty much doing Brian Cummings. I think that's who I have in mind when I do a Papa Bear.
Hey, stop, help!
Look.
Now, of course, this is all in the book. This is what happens. Papa takes flight. It's the famous image of Papa stuck to a kite. I will say though that this is a pretty well-made kite, and that's our first indication that the animals in Bear Country still speak in the 1985 series. We will be introduced. There you go. Talking animals are going to play a huge part in this series, beyond, above and beyond bears.
I think he's got it.
Make way!
Let's get out of here.
A lot more physical gags, a lot more physical comedy in the cartoon, which is, fine. I always thought that if the Berenstain Bears were translated into comic books, they might go more in this direction. A little slapstickier, a few more visual gags, a few more meta gags than you get in the books and you get in the later TV series. I mean, you don't get any in the later TV series. You don't get much humor at all.
He flew the mail with Grizzly Doolittle, and he has a perfume scarf personally given to him by Amelia Bearhart.
Hug yourself. Don't you know that pedestrians always have the right of way?
How's he doing?
He's coming down.
Oh, that's good.
Oh no! Look out! Tom
They're selling a lot of this with just reactions, and because a lot of this episode is set in the Red Roadster, I applaud their ability to do that. It's cost effective and character building. We learn a lot about Mama simply from the way she responds to Papa's ridiculousness.
My dear, life with your papa is a continuous close call.
As will be addressed in Life with Papa.
I will miss the kite contest. Sister's right. There's not much time.
I understand, sweetie, and I think we're through the worst. Oh, no!
Bridge ahead! What do we do? If we stop, he'll crash. If we don't, he'll bash into the bridge.
Our only hope is to try to maneuver him under the bridge.
We'll never make it.
Somebody do something!
I would cut the string. At this point, just get a pair of wire cutters and let him go. I mean, it's a full loss right now.
Involving, you guessed it, Papa Q Bear. Traffic conditions are normal. What's this? An unscheduled bridge opening, folks. Unlucky for westbound traffic, which is backed up to the Colonel Grizzly interchange. But I would venture to say very lucky for...
That's definitely Frank Welker doing that announcer, by the way. You can tell by his, like... Welker's voice sits kind of in the back of his throat, so you hear characters who talk kind of in the back of their throat like that. That's always Welker. That's Welker. It's one of his, even his normal speaking voice, even his Fred Jones voice. It's one of the reasons why people doing Fred's voice in Scooby-Doo besides Frank Welker never sound right, because he has this sort of he speaks kind of through like the back upper palate of his throat. As opposed to down here where normal people speak. Oh look, there's a hang gliding contest. How's this going to pay off? This is great. We've seen like 15 distinct characters already. Characters who don't show back up. Characters who are simply there as extras to play a role in this story. And I really appreciate that. Another Frank Welker voice. I understand why you don't want to pay too many voice actors, considering the budget of these episodes.
The finest barrel roll I've personally ever seen.
And I know some people watching along might be like, this animation looks pretty chintzy and cheap. Again,
I'm better than all right.
it's not just the way the characters look and move. It's the uniqueness of the animation cycles. It's the uniqueness of the sets and the props that they went out of their way to design hang gliders and kites for this. Okay, so that's a story based on a book. Now we're getting into a Saturday morning type story. And that's the Trojan Pumpkin, which we covered the adaptation of, Berenstain Bear Scouts and the... Well, it's not the Trojan pumpkin, it's the prize-winning pumpkin, something like that. It's the one where the pumpkin has guns in it. It's a giant pumpkin with guns in it. This story is far more Saturday morning than the books themselves, because there's villains and potential death.
Come on, grow, you orange beauties. You can do it. Do it for your old dad. Come
It is
on,
funny that Papa Bear has a
draw
pumpkin
that
patch.
moisture.
Is it competing against Farmer Ben's pumpkin patch? Because Farmer Ben's the one with the pumpkin patch in the books. I understand that Papa has to have the pumpkin patch in the cartoon to make the story work. But... Okay, there we go. Farmer Ben has the prize-winning pumpkin patch. We love Farmer Ben, by the way. Remember, he's one of the angriest bears in Bear Country.
You thick-headed gorge, grow. We gotta beat Farmer Ben at this pumpkin game. So unless you want to be instant pies and pickles, grow.
Is he talking? Is he shaming the pumpkin? Is that why it shrunk?
Sweethearts, you can do it. Think positive. Think big. Think round. Think
Man, I should say this to myself
Do you
in the
think you
mirror
can
every
win
morning.
Pumpkin prize this year, Papa?
I don't think. I
Except for the thing
know.
brown part. That would be inappropriate.
I don't think he knows either.
Cubs, your papa is bound and determined, absolutely dedicated to grow the biggest, the roundest, fattest, orangest pumpkin ever seen in Bear Country. I will
Oof.
stop at nothing. I will bend
Nothing?
every effort,
Is Raffishoff
engage
gonna
in
show up?
any scheme.
Oh, hot dang. Oh, it's Weasel McGreed.
I see. These words I hear tell me, my friends, my goal is near. Bear Country soon will all be mine.
So these are the Weasels.
Yes, indeed. As sure as my name is Weasel McGree.
And I like that they're like, okay, the Weasel McGree can speak in rhyme. None of the other characters will.
I'm Raffish Ralph, so feast your eyes. When it comes to slick, I take the prize. I'm crookeder than a dog's hind leg. I'll lift, I'll shift, I'll bow or bend. My threads are nifty, my eyes are shifty. I'm smooth and slick, and I take my pick of the good things in life. All I want is my unfair share. And my favorite mark is that fat-faced fool right over there. Otherwise known as Papa Q Bear.
A, great rhyme. B, best introduction of a villain since Richard III. I would put that rhyme right up there with the beginning of Richard
Wrong, I
III.
don't have to do anything honest.
All you have to do is get Papa Bear to plant this special pumpkin seed in his pumpkin patch.
Special, you say?
Very special.
A cinch. An unadulterated, surefire cinch.
This is economy of storytelling, by the way. This is what, in a creative writing class,
A piece of cake.
this is what they talk about.
Piece of pie. Pumpkin pie.
Gee, Papa, what makes you so sure you're gonna grow the biggest pumpkin and win the prize?
Well, I've put 7 coats of paint on this one part of the fence so far. I think I know what I'm talking
Not
about.
gonna win. Why, I've got it all over, old Ben, in every way. I've got the high ground, which gives me good drainage and plenty of sunshine.
Oh, I thought he meant like I have the high ground, like I have the,
Got a green thumb.
like,
certainly
like I,
have
like the high ground, like morally and like,
Hello, my very good friends.
Uh-oh, it's that swindler, Raffish Ralph.
okay, that was a little off
My very
model
good friend,
character-wise.
Papa
Hi, Ralph.
Bear. And your delightful
can't win 'em all.
cubs. Just happened to be in the neighborhood and thought I'd look in on Bear.
I like that Ralph has these like
Country
bottom
pumpkinologist.
teeth that stand out.
For one,
What's that?
well, I refer to your neighbor, Farmer Ben, who is, after all, a professional.
Well, be that as it may be, it just so happens that I'm winning the pumpkin prize this year. I cannot miss. I am surefire money in the bank for first prize.
Well, in that case, of course, you wouldn't be interested in a very special pumpkin seed which has come into my possession.
Yes, sir. I want it known.
We also
one and all
have established that Papa has been swindled by Ralph in the past. Part of that is so they can show these episodes in any order, but also like I want to know. I really want to know how far back their relationship goes. Are they the same age? Did they go to school together?
Papa? Be careful, Papa. Remember, that's Raffish Ralph you're talking to. Remember that magic honey machine he sold you last month?
There we go.
The only thing it made was money for Ralph.
Excuse me, little ones. What sort of
Like,
pumpkin seed?
Was Ralph always like this? We know he has a heart in the novels, but where did this begin? Is he from the area? Is he an outsider? I always thought of him as like the outsider who came in from like Big Bear City. But does he have roots in Beartown? How does he know the Bog Brothers? How does he know the Weasels?
I'd sure like to have that.
Where's his Wicked? Where's the novelization of the life of Raffish Ralph ripoff? Should I write that? Should that be my next major undertaking?
Ralph?
Should I ask Mike Berenstain if I can write a 300-page novel on the story of Ralph ripoff?
Go tell Mama.
Why, I would deem it an honor and privilege if you would plant this seed in your esteemed pumpkin patch. Here, it's yours.
Gee, Ralph, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to thank you.
Tut tut, my good fellow. Just see to it that I get a piece of the pie which ultimately gets made out of the pumpkin from this seed.
So here's my question. Why didn't Ralph simply sneak into the pumpkin patch? Because Papa's not going to be there all the time. Go into pumpkin patch, just plant the seed yourself.
Come quick!
It just seems that that would be the easier way to do it. Then Papa would just think it was one of his pumpkins.
Ralph gave Papa a special pumpkin.
Why didn't the Weasels just do that? They can sneak around.
In his pumpkin patch.
Gave it to him, you say?
Because he's setting himself up already.
Can't see any real harm in it.
But Mama.
Like, people know Ralph's involved. If Ralph had done this in secret,
Papa with the pumpkin patch.
it just seems like it would have been a much easier
So
swindle.
excited about.
Because he wasn't charged with selling the seed. He was charged with just making sure it was planted in the pumpkin
Come on,
patch.
we've got to warn him ourselves. Maybe we can talk him out of planting it. Papa, you know that special seed you got from Ralph? We want to warn you.
It's all planted and watered as nice as you please.
See, it's
Now, what if
it's
got
it's an
one?
easy undertaking.
After all, what possible harm could come from one tiny pumpkin seed?
What possible harm indeed? Well, okay, this is great. The time lapse of the growing of the pumpkin seed. Because okay, this is some like Eldritch Evil Dead type stuff. So this is an overnight event. I love the music too. We got the bongos, we got the bass line. This is the groan of the pumpkin seed music. That is a pretty big pumpkin now that I look at it. Well.
Wow!
Oh.
Double, triple, and quadruple! Wow! It's bigger
So
than our
if
house.
he hadn't, if Papa hadn't planted the seed, if Ralph had snuck in there and planted the seed,
I don't like
you wake up in the morning, this is there.
It's very fishy to me. I hear something.
There's nothing suspicious. I mean, there's something suspicious. It's a giant pumpkin, but you're more likely to attribute that to something Papa did
Wheels.
as opposed to something
Hey, where are you going?
Raffish Ralph did. I'm calling into question the sneakiness of the plan.
Doctor said.
Now, obviously, in the novelization of this is a much longer sequence.
Well, it's much worse. It's something weaselly. It's
Yeah.
weasel
So they don't discover the weasels in the pumpkin for a long time.
Weasels.
This is complex. This is a lot to say for the last 2 minutes of an episode.
Yippee! Yippee! I've done it! I've done it! I've grown
It's also a very complicated,
history of bear country.
like, plan. Just,
The biggest, fattest,
I would think that Weasel McGreed has developed a fast-growing pumpkin seed that grows to gigantic proportions. You can make a lot of money just on that. I think that he's forgetting that he has this technology in his hand.
the intergalactic fair. Yippee! Yippee!
So was the idea that
We've got to do something and quick.
they were going to?
This high ground, the weasel cannons command all bear country.
Oh, I see. So that's why they wanted Papa Bear's high ground. He has the highest plot of land on Beartown, I guess.
And I can move the world. Whatever that means. Come on.
And that's, I think, used in the book. So they're just going to leverage this down the hill, I guess.
Pull, sister.
Obviously, in the books, it's established that nobody believes in the weasels.
No, stop that! Stop that! You crazy cops! You'll send my prize pumpkin crashing down into the valley! Stop!
There's no way those kids are that strong. There's no way they could do that. Yeah, I didn't really think that through.
I think I'll pass on that piece of pumpkin pie.
Then it was all a weasel plot.
That's right, Mama. A wicked weasel plot to take over bear country.
So at this point, that's where Papa Bear should be like, I probably shouldn't.
That was some pumpkin.
Probably shouldn't do that anymore. Probably shouldn't. At this point, he's not taking anything from Ralph, but he still will. So that was the first 2 episodes of the Berenstain Bears. Buzz Potemkin. We have a lot of the same names you saw from the original specials. With Ruth Bussey right there at the top. Just a fantastic TV show. So that was the first episodes of the Berenstain Bears. I'm gonna record an outro. I'm gonna record a little review if you want to check that out. But I'm gonna do all of these. I'm just gonna watch all of these. And if you want to watch along, that's fine. If you want to watch along and ignore what I'm saying, that's fine too, I guess. But here we go. Catch me on the other side. And we're back. So we watched the first 2 episodes, or the first episode containing the first 2 episodes of 1985's The Berenstain Bears. Here's my quick recap. Go Fly a Kite. I know I've talked about this episode in the past, and watching it again as the first episode that children might have seen of the Berenstain Bears does an amazing job of introducing the family, of introducing Beartown. We open on the town square with the old back scratching tree. We see bears approach the back scratching tree, scratch their backs on it. We see people hanging out in the benches. It's just a great introduction to Beartown, firmly establishing them not only as a society of sentient bears, but as a society of sentient bears. Like they act like bears to one degree or another. We see the treehouse. We get introduced to the Red Roadster. We get introduced to our nuclear family. We see Papa being a bumbling moron, and we see Mama being the long-suffering wife that she gets accused of being. But it's the the style of the animation, the quality of the animation allows the characters to live and breathe, establish themselves through conversation, establish themselves through play, and establish themselves through the reaction to the other characters. Yes, Mama gets marginalized a bit in the first storyline to just someone who puts up with their husband, but that's okay in this one because we're establishing just the basic archetypes before we go on to see what else they can do, and we see that although she is long-suffering, she has an attitude, she has an understanding. This is something that she's come to expect from her husband, who she loves, whose dreams she encourages, and ultimately it is the kids who not really figure out how to help Papa come out on top, but he lucks into coming out on top in the very end because he's attached to the kite, accidentally flies it into a hang gliding competition where he wins. That's fine. He's appropriately cowed at the end, but it's the prize-winning pumpkin that captures, or what is it? It's not the prize-winning pumpkin. It's like the glorious. What is it called? The glorious gourd, the amazing vegetable, the Trojan pumpkin. That's what it's called. I'm just gonna stick with the glorious gourd. The Trojan pumpkin kind of gives away what the title kind of gives away what's going to happen. It's the same essential plot as the Berenstain Bear Scouts novelization of it, except we have a bear country that is well aware of the dangers of the weasels. We meet Weasel McGree as our main antagonist. We meet Raffish Ralph Ripoff as their like, I guess their bear face tool in Beartown. I guess he exists to like put their plans into motion. We're introduced to both of them though as rhymers, which is, if you look into the history, into like demonology, if you look into the history of trickster characters, speaking in rhyme is actually a symbol of a fairy trickster, of a folk trickster, characters who are up to no good, but who are also pretty smart. Demons don't rhyme unless they have like a certain level of intelligence. And so we have the Weasels and Raffish Ralph Ripoff speaking in rhyme at the beginning. Great rhymes too, like very clever rhymes. And I love it. I love that that's how Ralph is introduced. I love that we get the malevolence of the Weasels right up top. They're here to their goal to take over Bear Country. We don't know why. We don't know why you can start in Bear Town. Again, it's the cartoon, so I assume that Bear Country is like Smurf Village is referring to just sort of the outlying area. We don't get a whole lot of expansion of the general geography of the planet in this series. So when they say Bear Country, they mean like this, like sort of like little microcosm of the world. We get introduced to talking animals who will play a much bigger part in later episodes. We get introduced to Bear Country as a lively network of characters. So I remember sitting and watching this show and loving it, being familiar with the Bear family from the books and just being in awe of the expansion. We're also going to see how this show came out before The Simpsons and introduced some archetypes of small town life that will be co-opted by The Simpsons, from the not so good mayor to the chief of police to the scientist who lives up on the hill and teaches the kids and makes wacky inventions. And it's just great. I think it's great. Papa Q Bear, you were the original Homer J. Simpson. So that's the first episode of the Berenstain Bears. I'm going to be covering more episodes as I go along. Originally I was just like, because it's going to be easier than trying to get my hands on books. This is actually a lot longer. I've been recording for almost an hour. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched along at home, I'll see you next time with the episodes of Spooky Old Mansion and the Flyaway Pizza. Again, they're all on YouTube. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you all next time deep in Bear Country.